Welcome back everyone, Casey with CX Mods. We've got some exciting news and we're going to finalize that news tomorrow, but I guess I'll show you ahead of time. We got ourselves some aftermarket wheels for our Corolla Cross. We ended up going with Wander MX 17x8 plus 38 offset. That's going to be pretty much flush with the vehicle, and that's kind of what we were looking for as far as fitment goes. 17x8, that was about as wide as I wanted to go. I wish they had a 7, but not a huge deal. We're not going to be doing any hardcore off-roading with this vehicle, obviously, since there's limitations with the platform. We just wanted to add a little bulkier tire compared to the factory, so that's why we went down to a 17-inch tire as well. The hub bore on these is going to be 73.1, so we ended up picking some hub rings up so that we know that the wheel is going to be perfectly centered when we mount it. So 73.1 to 60.1 hub rings. And then we got ourselves some Gorilla lug nuts because the lug nut area or the holes on these wheels are a bit smaller, and then the seating is also different on the wheels as well. We needed to go with a 60-degree conical lug nut to fit these wheels since the factory ones are too big and they wouldn't mate with the wheels perfectly. I've always gone with Gorilla lug nuts on any of the vehicles I've ever put aftermarket wheels on. Never had any issues. I'm just going to stick with what I know and what's always worked for me. As far as tires go, I did a lot of research on this. I was bouncing around with sizing, and I ended up going with what we've actually tested on the vehicle already, which is a 225/65/17. That's what's on the RAV4 wheels that we have. And like I said, I already tested it because I swapped the wheels between the two cars. So I know what they kind of look like already because we had the lift on the vehicle at that time as well. We went with Toyo Open Country AT3s in a 225/65/17. Could have gone a little bit taller or a little bit wider. I felt like that was the perfect in-between size since I'm not doing anything too crazy with the vehicle. And I wanted to keep the tire weight down because that would affect the gas mileage a little bit. And this is my wife's main vehicle driving around town, so didn't want to get too crazy. Sidewall on them are a little bit more aggressive, which is going to be a cool look for the vehicle. Enough rambling, let's go over the wheels themselves. So here they are. The overall design of the wheel I think is going to go really well with the body of the Corolla Cross. A lot of aftermarket off-road type wheels, they're going to be a little too aggressive, and this vehicle's not a rock crawler or anything, so we don't need the beadlock look. We were just looking to get something aftermarket that would look good on the vehicle, kind of add a little more aggressive look since we've got that lift on there now. And now that it's winter in Iowa, I really wanted to get a better tire, like an all-terrain tire, to allow better traction just so that it's safer to drive in those conditions. But we'll most likely run them all year round because that's the point of what we're doing, is just upgrading things. So yeah, I'm really excited to see these mounted on the vehicle tomorrow. We've got an appointment tomorrow morning and we'll get them put it on and I'll show you what they look like after. All right, you guys ready for the big reveal? I drove out to one of my wife and I's favorite places to camp that's within an hour. It'd be a good place to kind of do some rolling shots and just do a walk around. So here we go. There you have it. I think they turned out perfect. I really like the design with the body style of the Corolla Cross. I think it looks really good. I feel like it almost looks OEM, but in a good way. Like, it looks like a higher end vehicle now, maybe like a Lexus or something. I did have them take off the spacers, the wheel spacers. So I was just wanting to get a good idea of how this offset looked like. So this is plus 38. They are inset just a little bit, so I most likely will be putting the spacers back on. And then at that time, I would like to weigh the factory wheels and tires against these just to see what we're looking at as far as difference there. Yeah, I think they look killer. Not too car related, but it wouldn't be worth a trip out here unless paid a visit to some wildlife. So I figured we'd stop at our local Toyota dealership to see if they had a Corolla Cross, and they do. So I just wanted to do a little comparison. So obviously you can see there's more of a wheel gap, and then also added lift with the slightly bigger tire. Stock, looks way better. I figured I'd do a size comparison with the RAV4 they have here, and I feel like they're pretty comparable in size now, just in presence I guess, and like height and everything. So overall, I'm really happy with how these turned out. I feel like they look really good on the car. As far as tire noise goes, I don't feel like it's very far off of the factory tire noise. Right now, I'm going about 55. It's really not noticeable at all. I do feel like we could have gone with an even taller or wider tire, but these 225 65 17s I feel like fit this vehicle really well with the lift we've got. I don't know if you saw the other video that we have, but we've got a 1.6 inch lift on it. We do offer a 2 inch as well. I thought about just trying that out to see what it's like, but I'm gonna stick with this for now since we already got it aligned and we're all within spec, and I'm really happy with how it's sitting at this point with the wheels. But yeah, there's no rubbing I've noticed right now. I am gonna throw our 20mm spacers back on just to get the wheels to sit flush. I have a feeling that might be enough to cause some inner fender liner rubbing. Hard to say right now, but I think that that'll give it the stance that I'm looking for. Since the plus 38s isn't perfectly flush with the body, I think those 20mm is gonna push it out just enough to make it look a little bit better in my mind and look a little more aggressive. So here's an example of the vehicle about at interstate speeds to 70 miles an hour. Road noise, I don't feel like is any different than from the factory tires. And as far as, I'm sure when I get this question, gas mileage goes, I did notice a little bit of a drop, not huge. I figured there would be just with the all-terrain tread on these, and I'm assuming they're probably a little bit heavier than the factory wheels and tires, but in another video I'll go over that. I'll weigh them. I'll do that when I put the wheel spacers back on. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email us at sales@cxmods.com or find us on social media and message us there. Thanks for watching.